Yeah, see the title, man. Let's get to it.
The funniest thing to see in the game of basketball is to see a player who has completely lost touch with reality and who they are as a player, the value and impact they bring to the court, a player who thinks they are so much better than they are, a player that is void of
Nah,
any and all.
nah, that was crazy. He really tried to be Curry right there. That's really, come on, bro. The way he turned and all
A
that,
player who thinks
like the lazy turn. Come on, bro. Get your old swag to it, at least. Like, you gotta add your old swag to it. You feel me? At least if you go turn around, you know what I'm saying? Add your own swag to it. He fake turn around just like Curry. He got Curry
are
animations on.
so much better than they are, a player that is void of any and all self-awareness, and it makes for great entertainment and laughs for all of us fans watching the debacle happen right before us. Except for those fans for which said player plays on, and there is no player in the NBA right now for which that is more apparent than Jordan Poole, a guy who came to the Warriors in one of the worst seasons that
I feel like Klay Thompson too. He get a little beside himself as well, man.
they had, wins a title after the guys get healthy, gets a big contract, young, flashy on offense, and all of a sudden he thinks he's the next Steph Curry. And while a lot of people thought Jordan Poole was going to go off this year and put up 30 points a night on a rebuilding Wizards team for which he was going to have the green light to go crazy and do whatever the hell he wanted and not be held back like he was with the Warriors, instead, Jordan Poole is being exposed for the player that he truly is. A selfish, poor decision maker, inefficient scorer, and a player who actually brings his team down. Now, I know all this sounds really harsh, which it is. Maybe we shouldn't be going.
Like I feel, bro, he trying to hoop. He trying to just hoop, have fun, hoop regular like you at the YMCA or something. But you're not playing at full speed at that point, kid. You just you basically walking, you know. And you gotta keep your teammates involved and make good decisions with the basketball, bro. I didn't expect him to I didn't expect him to go over there and play trash. I expected him to do a little something, do his thing 1-2, you know. But it ain't happen like that. We're gonna see though.
Going too hard on Poole, man got punched in the face by his own teammate. But based on the way Jordan Poole has played so far this season and just how bad the Wizards have been when he's on the court, and Poole not giving a crap about his teammates or winning basketball games, and the fact that Jordan Poole is doing nothing about it to change his overall style of play to actually make the team better, you can't help but be harsh and call this guy out for what he is. And the eye test, we've seen some of the comical errors he's made on the court, doing dumb things like taking a three and turning around like Steph has done in the past. But unlike Steph Curry, instead of making the shot, he misses.
Yeah, like you can't do that in the NBA, not making your shots like Steph Curry. You know, he can't be doing that. Steph knows that shit going in. You know, once he shoots it, he usually gives it like a little 1-2 second. Once he get that little feeling, he sees the trajectory. You know, he knows that joint going in. Turn around, no, right before it goes in too. Look at y'all, yeah, just like that. But you're not like that. Calm down, okay? You need some more shots. You need some more shots in game and all that. You know, once you get that joint and you know it, come on, bro. It's repetition. You can't just be out there doing that.
Numbers from Jordan Poole are historically bad to start the season.
He really tried to be like Curry just now. That was
we'll be
crazy.
talking about in this video just what happens when a player lacks any and all self-awareness.
That was good, though.
Of course, if you're new to the channel and you like this type of content, then be sure to subscribe to help the channel grow. And in return, I'll be providing more NBA content like this. Now, when Jordan Poole entered the league,
that's really some like he's trying to play like Curry, bro. What the fuck is wrong with him? Yo, bro, calm down, boy.
And in return, I'll be providing more.
he trying to cut the court, catching up the little jaw like how you know how Draymond be giving the little right there pass to Curry. And just rise up.
Now,
come on, bro. This guy's crazy.
Much was really thought about this yet. Yes, a player who possessed great athleticism, crafty with the ball, could shoot it from outside, and he played with a lot of confidence. But he was also seen by many as being a little too small, not really NBA ready, a project player that would need proper development, especially when it came to his decision making on the court. People forget, but Jordan Poole in his rookie season was playing so poorly that he was actually assigned multiple times to go play with the Warriors G League affiliate, which, yes, that happens occasionally with rookies, and it isn't anything new or out of the ordinary, but it is a little more rare when it's with first-round picks, which Poole was. He was taken 28th overall, and keep in mind, this was a season where the Warriors lost Steph for most of the year. Klay was out for the whole season. They finished with the worst record in the NBA, so it's not like Poole was entering a team that was going to be stacked with talent and rookies were going to be out of the rotation. No, the Warriors were starting guys like Eric Pascal in the backcourt. And then in the post-bubble season, and a season in which Klay Thompson would again get injured and be out for the year, this was Poole's opportunity to really show what he could do. And he actually proved to be a big piece for them, another scoring option outside of Steph, and this continued on in the following season after the Warriors got Clay back midway through the year and would eventually go on to win the championship. And Poole was seen as a big piece of that success. So much so that Warriors GM Bob Myers decided to hand him a massive contract extension, an early extension, mind you, to the tune of 4 years, $140 million, which even coming off a title run, people thought that was a steep price to pay for Jordan Poole, especially when you already had so much money committed on the payroll to these other guys. Now, at the time, I made a video on how Poole's contract was going to be one of the most regrettable contracts given out that offseason, but even then, I didn't know how much of a regret it truly would ultimately become, because at the end of the day, Poole was still a solid scorer.
And I sort of hate, well, I'm not going to say I hate it. I just feel like you should make these role players that are just now becoming into a star, I guess you could say. I feel like they still need to prove themselves before they get that big contract. Because every time you give one of these guys that big contract, Austin Reeves, Jordan Poole, there's a bunch of these guys, you give them that big contract when they just started going crazy. And now it's like they lost that hunger. They're not going crazy as they was, you know? I don't like that, man. I don't like that. You know, I think we need to make them earn that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
A scoring spark off the bench for the Warriors that they needed. But what the Warriors screwed up was letting some of their key role players go, like Gary Payton and Otto Porter, even though GP2, they were eventually able to get him back. And they prioritized committing long-term money to Jordan Poole, giving an early extension, which they could have waited one more year and say, prove that you're worth a near max.
Prove it, nigga. God damn it, like... Why are we just giving out the brand like that? Like, I understand he went crazy. I understand he was a big part of the team, you know? I need to see a little more, King. A little more, you know? It's not like he was Curry out there. You know what I'm saying?
Extension, and that last season wasn't just an isolated incident, but instead, they paid the man early. He wasn't helping the team win in the way that they wanted in the following season. It was reported the vibes and attitudes from him and the locker room were bad, and it just didn't seem like Jordan Poole cared to be there. He was not engaged with that group. I also made
that was a horrible shot. I remember that shot. Horrible. Why are you, like, it's just shit like that. Why are you even spotting up that, like, far out, you know, when there's space? I understand you don't want to clog it up, but you could get a little closer. You don't got to spot him. You got to spot him right there. Like, shoulder's not even paying attention to you. You know?
Not engaged.
Bron didn't even step up. You could take the 1-2 dribbles. You got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Nope, like, oh man, that's just going back. We're going backwards, so we've been talking about that shot. That was horrible.
This was Bob Myers' biggest mistake as a GM, and he would eventually be out of the organization and step down in the offseason. Or I guess I shouldn't say he stepped down. They didn't renew his contract, but he left. The Warriors did what they had to do because they knew not only was Poole and his attitude, demeanor, and his play negatively impacting the team, but they knew that Draymond Green and Poole were not going to be able to coexist. They were never going to be able to get over that punch. And so the Warriors traded Poole for parts. I shouldn't even say
that was
parts.
Draymond really rocked it on him. No cap, he rocked this shit. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that was that was ill intent. You hear me?
And so the Warriors traded Poole for parts.
I went a little early, but he fake. You know,
as a salary dump and had to fork over a first-round pick just to get him off the books and take on a washed Chris Paul and his bad contract. At the time, I thought the Warriors were insane. I get that you had to trade Jordan Poole, but you couldn't get a better deal than that? That you had to ship out a first-round pick to get him off your books? At least Poole is still young, has some upside, can score, but no. Turns out the Warriors absolutely made the right call in getting him off the team at all costs. And for the Wizards, I guess it helps their tanking strategy, because Jordan Poole, not only has he been so bad for them, but he has completely deluded himself into thinking that this is his team. That he's the team's best player and that somehow he's going to be the guy that they build around. Take away some of his antics that we've seen him do so far in just his short tenure with the Wizards, stuff like not paying attention in the huddle of a timeout, missing the play call as a result of not paying attention, and then botching the play because he wasn't paying attention, or trying to get cute on plays to be flashy and hopefully make a highlight reel to just turn the ball over. Bro. Forget all of that. His teammates can already see why the Warriors could not stand this guy. Jordan Poole, again, for a season in which a lot of people thought that he was going to be a top 10 scorer in the NBA, playing on a bad team where he would be the primary option, is only averaging 15 points per game on some of the worst efficiency in the league, shooting less than 40% from the field, 27% from three on 6.6 attempts per game. That is some of the worst shooting we have seen from deep on that high a volume since 2015.
You could tell he's like he's a dickhead. You could tell like he try to act like he the toughest person out there. You know, look. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
On 6.6 attempts per game. That is some of the worst shooting we have seen from deep on that high a volume since 2015, 2016, when three-point shooting really started taking off. Poole is turning the ball over 3.2 times per game while only averaging 3.7 assists. He's nearly averaging a turnover per assist. Poole's defense has never really been that great, but he's been comically bad to start this season with a negative 2.7.
Bro just didn't. It's like bro is really out there playing on straight instinct. He's not thinking at all, you know, at all.
A turnover per assist.
Like he went down, bro didn't even think that, bro. That he didn't even think about where he was gonna be at after this move. That's the problem. He didn't even think about that. He didn't think about where the defense was gonna be at after he does this move. He just immediately makes the pass. You know,
has never really
can't be doing that in the NBA, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Bad to start this season.
You can't pick up your dribble like that as a guard. You know, keep your dribble alive, King. You learn that as a high schooler, as a middle schooler.
With a negative 2.7 defensive box plus minus. But get this, his overall box plus minus so far this season is minus 7.6, which is in the bottom 10% of all players in the NBA. But even worse, Poole is a minus 34 for the Wizards when he's on the court compared to when he's off. The Wizards and their overall margin of victory is 34 points less when Poole is on the court compared to when he's off. That is dead last in the NBA.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's gonna be out the league in a little bit. I don't want to wish that on him, but that's what it's looking like. You know, with that type of stat, if they could, you know, they could see those type of stats, and it's all pointing to you.
Among qualifying players,
it's not looking good for you, King.
It would be the worst in NBA history for any NBA starter if he maintained this trend. Now, granted, it's still a small sample size. He's obviously not going to have on-off numbers like minus 34 and have that be sustained all season long. You'd have to think his overall net rating as an individual, which is currently minus 30, is going to get better, at least a little bit. But even with those numbers eventually going up a bit, regressing to the mean as the season goes on and more games are played, it still does not take away from the fact that Jordan Poole, his mindset, his mentality, his maturity is not going to change.
Wow. This just opened my eyes that Jordan Poole is really out there, really selling. He's selling his team. I didn't know he was out there selling like this. You know, I gotta start watching some of the Wizards games. You know, but yeah, let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. Click on the last reaction, turn on post notifications, like the video, comment, subscribe. And I'm out of here, man.